Today we're going to do the west side of the park, scuba diving. We've done the east side before, you might have seen that video. And what's different about the west side? Well, it's more open, it's more sandy, there's more structure from the bridge, it's a little shallower, the current is a little stronger, the visibility is usually not as great, but there's a lot more potential to get stuff like sea robins, batfish, things like that, sort of bottom dwelling fish like that. The only time I've ever seen the blue-throat pike bunny was over there. So there's lots of sort of interesting, unique things over there. It might not be as much sort of wow factor as the east side, but I find there's a lot more sort of mysterious stuff to discover on this side. So as we start out here, you can see the clarity was pretty good today. Surprisingly good, actually, because we'd been in snorkeling the previous day, and the clarity wasn't so great. But today it was pretty good, and we almost immediately came across this nice spotted eagle ray. It was one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. I think I've only ever seen them at Phil Foster. Here's a leopard sea robin. We had two of these today, actually. I've shown you them before, but I think I got a little bit of a better macro shot this time. I started to pay a little bit more attention here, looking at the sort of smaller things on the seafloor here. There's that amber pen shell there just sticking up out of the ground. And for the first time I actually was finding these red heart urchins here that were actually buried in the sand there. See me picking one up there. And here I am also trying to get a nice macro shot of this red cushioned sea star. There's plenty of those at Phil Foster. And I also got this blue-eye hermit crab. That shell it had was really covered in barnacles. So we're heading still further west here, and then we come across this common mantis shrimp. It's not a very good shot, but I thought maybe I'd show you that since they're pretty cool. Here we've reached the sort of secret wall at the far west end of the park. There's usually some pretty good stuff here. Gray angelfish, that's an adult. Earlier I showed you a juvenile. And we were just looking around here. You never know what you're going to come across here. This is the edge of the boating channel, so I don't want to go beyond this. And this, my dad actually found this orange filefish, which was the first one that I'd ever seen. And I was really excited about this because this was a fish that I'd actually really wanted to see. It was something that I've been trying to find actually in Long Island. I don't know if you've seen that video, but this is a species of Aluteris. Usually you sometimes get them in groups. This one was on its own, and look at that nice pattern on it. You'll see here that it's actually similar to the unicorn leatherjacket filefish that I saw here once. The unicorn leatherjacket has a more blotchy pattern on the body, sort of like round spots, and you'll see the orange filefish has these more sort of dark streaks on it. And here I'm pointing out a barred hamlet. There's usually at least one of them over by that wall. It's a good spot for hamlets. There's also a couple spotted scorpionfish. You really got to watch out. They like hanging around on the bottom, and sometimes you can barely see them. There's a flamefish there. Nice and out in the open, that one. Spotted moray. I was happy with this shot. Put on a little show for me. There's also this sand diver. I haven't seen too many of those at Phil Foster. That was a nice find. Similar to the inshore lizardfish, but bigger. Long spine porcupine fish. Some eyed flounders. There's usually a bunch of those around. I always like to get shots of them. And here's some spot-fin butterfly fish adults for anybody who was sad about seeing those juveniles up in Long Island. There's a sheep's head. And here's a plainhead filefish, so that you can see sort of some similarities with the orange filefish, but quite different as well. The body shape's quite different. As always, there's A couple of yellow stingrays. Oh, and there was this white-nosed pipefish as well, which is, you might remember from the Long Island video, we were getting some different pipefish there, but that's a white-nosed pipefish. Not a great shot, but. And this year, it's interesting. This seahorse, that's a northern seahorse, which is the same species actually that we were seeing in Long Island, which is pretty interesting. And this year, that's actually a crab. It's a decorator crab of some kind. It's covered in sponges. You can just see it moving there. And this was all sort of in the same area. Like this polka dot batfish here was like right next to that crab and that seahorse and the pipefish. Actually, they were all in one area. So we started moving a little bit out to the snorkel trail here, taking a look out there. There's that's a Townsend angelfish there in the foreground, I think. Another Townsend angelfish. Tried to get some nice shots of these rough file clams. Those are really cool. This is interesting. That's actually a barred cardinal fish. Mostly you see flamefish, but that's the barred cardinal fish. And at the end of the dive here, we actually have this nice green sea turtle, which is something I haven't seen too much at Phil Foster. I think this one's a resident. But yeah, that was a really nice way to end the dive. I hope you enjoyed my sharing it with you. Make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment.
So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoy. I really had a good time here today, and I hope to come back here again sometime soon. Maybe do a little bit more scuba diving.